Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Women's Health Wednesday Live. I am Jacqueline Rose. I'm your women's health advocate, menopause coach, hormonal health specialist, and I'm very excited today to talk to you about something that you probably think is not women's health related or necessary for women to talk about at all. And I'm going to tell you why you do want to stay and hear all about this topic, and that is testosterone. Now, I know that we have all been taught that testosterone is the male hormone. And yes, it is a male hormone, and testosterone is associated with male characteristics. However, big news alert, pay attention. Women have testosterone in much higher levels than our other reproductive hormones. So let me explain what is going on, why testosterone is so important for women, and what happens in perimenopause and menopause as our hormones start to fluctuate. So we are familiar and we know and we have spoken a lot about our feminine reproductive hormones, the estrogen, the progesterone, the FSH, and the LH, specifically the estrogen and the progesterone. Estrogen is known as the women's hormone. Another spoiler alert, men also have estrogen in their bodies. Testosterone is a precursor to estrogen production. So we always talk about these four reproductive hormones: estrogen and progesterone that are the most dominant, FSH and LH that are also super important for regulating our menstrual cycle. However, testosterone is also present in our reproductive hormones. Testosterone stays usually more constant over the course of a month than the other hormones that are fluctuating over our monthly cycle. But the testosterone levels are higher than estrogen levels. And I have heard some doctors say anywhere between 5 to 10 times higher amounts of testosterone in our bodies compared to estrogen. That means that testosterone is the dominant hormone in women as well as men. We just have higher levels of estrogen and progesterone, and our cycles are much more estrogen and progesterone dependent because as women, we are ovulating. And we know for some women who are experiencing PCOS, endometriosis, infertility, acne, or insulin resistance, weight gain, not being able to lose weight in their 20s and their 30s, one of the things we have to look at is testosterone and androgen production. What are the levels of androgen hormones, including testosterone? Testosterone is one of those androgen hormones. To look at the levels of those hormones, because sometimes if those hormones are too high, or the ratio between testosterone and estrogen is not appropriate, or the relationship between estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone is not appropriate, then we can have infertility issues, struggling with regular menstrual cycles. Then we can have, as I said, things like PCOS, polycystic ovaries, or weight gain, or excess acne, or those types of things, excess hair. That is because we have too much of the testosterone is too dominant for whatever reason. When we get to perimenopause and menopause and our hormones start to fluctuate, we are then thrown, as you all know, into more disarray, into more of a hormonal imbalance, and testosterone is included in that. We, again, always only think of estrogen. Sometimes we think of progesterone if we're looking at what is happening during perimenopause and menopause, why we're experiencing symptoms. If you were thinking about maybe going down the hormone replacement treatment route, we are always only looking at estrogen and, where necessary, progesterone. But testosterone starts to fall together with progesterone in your mid-late 30s. Testosterone starts to fall, which means the relationship and the ratio between testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone is going to change. And what we find when we do blood to our blood work, in addition to looking at the symptoms, we often find that it is testosterone that has tanked. Estrogen may be going up and down, and very often we are estrogen dominant. Our estrogen levels are high, either objectively or in relationship to progesterone, which is the most important marker. The relationship between estrogen and progesterone is much more important than the absolute estrogen numbers and progesterone numbers if you are getting blood work done. But what is also important is to look at testosterone. And for so many women, testosterone is ignored in blood work. It is ignored when talking about perimenopause. It is ignored when looking at symptoms. But for many, many women, actually their testosterone is in the tank. They have really, really extra low levels of testosterone. Their testosterone is not being supported. And when we think about symptoms, how does that show up? We often can be looking at low libido, low energy, low motivation, low drive, that feeling of I just can't be bothered to do anything, or that like sluggish, low, slow feeling of like going into work and you've got a meeting, but you can't really focus and concentrate and you're not really there with it. Brain fog, brain function is a function of testosterone. Bone health, muscle mass. We know that as we navigate through perimenopause, menopause, and into our postmenopause years, we need to be paying attention to a loss of bone density and muscle mass. That we know is very strongly related to estrogen, but testosterone plays a very important role in supporting bone and muscles. Plus heart health, long-term cardiovascular health. Again, if you are be following me and heard any other stuff I've been talking about around estrogen, we know that estrogen is women's health protective, and we know that estrogen has long-term benefits for women's health. But here is the big spoiler alert: testosterone also does, and many of your perimenopause, menopause symptoms potentially can be testosterone related. And it may be that actually you can get testosterone support that may actually relieve your symptoms without even looking at estrogen. So what are we sort of learning and becoming much more aware about? The importance of testosterone in women's health during our menstrual cycle years, the importance of testosterone in symptoms and symptom treatment and symptom experience, the fact that so many women have low levels of testosterone as borne out by their symptoms and, more importantly, their blood work, and the fact that your doctor, if you're going to a doctor who is, you're lucky enough to find a doctor that is talking about perimenopause and menopause, is probably never talking about testosterone. And here we come to the next point, and that is the fear. And I really use that word fear, or that very cautiousness that doctors have in talking about testosterone when it comes to women's health. Testosterone, as I said at the very beginning, has traditionally been labeled the male hormone. And doctors are very, very wary of talking about testosterone in a female health context, which is just bizarre because of all the reasons I've told you. And testosterone support is not readily available for women. There is no FDA approved testosterone hormonal support for women. Testosterone hormonal support for men, yes, is approved, is available, and is there. And so therefore, if you want to go down the hormone therapy route, you need to find a doctor who is willing to prescribe testosterone to you under the knowledge that it is a male dosage and it is prescribed for males, but they are confident to be able to guide you and advise you how to use it for female use. It is not the same. The dosage for males is significantly different to the dosage for females. Men do have much higher absolute levels of testosterone in their body than women. But we're not looking at the values between men and women, looking at what women need. So when you're looking at testosterone support, it is provided and approved for men. Your doctor needs to know how to prescribe it for women. Secondly, there are other ways that you can boost your testosterone levels naturally, and part of that is how we look at our global, overall, holistic hormonal health and balance when we're trying to navigate perimenopause and menopause and trying to keep our hormones in balance, looking at lifestyle support, nutritional support, supplementation support. And that is exactly what I do with my clients, looking with them and working together with them to see what is going on with their symptoms, what is going on with their blood work, identifying the triggers, looking at which hormones are out of balance, which symptoms are indicating hormonal imbalance, and how we are going to try and really support our hormone system, support the body for long-term hormonal health and wellness, and for sustainable hormonal health. And there are natural ways we can do that. And there are natural ways that we can look at supporting testosterone and creating, again, it's not only the absolute testosterone numbers, it's the relationship between testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, and what is going on in our overall health and wellness, and what things do we need to look at, the triggers, the tweaking, the strategies, all that type of work that I do with my clients. So I hope this has been really informative. Most importantly is women, do not be scared of testosterone. We need testosterone. Testosterone is a super dominant and important hormone in female bodies. As it begins to fall and drop and change over perimenopause and menopause, we will experience symptoms. Too high levels of testosterone are also not good. And that is always the fear around testosterone and women's health. But there is definitely room for a female appropriate dosage. And it is something that we really need to be thinking about. It's recently we need to be aware about. One of the big menopause doctors in Israel, one of the big menopause specialists, advises taking testosterone therapy before you even get to estrogen or progesterone therapy. So really start talking about testosterone with your doctor. And if your doctor is not comfortable prescribing you testosterone, if they say testosterone is not for women, shoot me a message, send me a DM. I will send you the research that shows why testosterone is so important for women. Have a fantastic day. Let me know what you think of this. Let me know if I can answer any of your questions. I look forward to seeing you at the next Women's Health Wednesday Live.